The concept of nutrient density can be very helpful in assessing the health impact of different foods. But what is nutrient density? How do we define it? Per mass? Per volume? Per calorie? Is a high nutrient density of a certain nutrient always a good thing? And a low nutrient density always a bad thing? You might have already guessed it. It depends. Which foods are available? Is a calorie surplus or deficit desirable? More precisely, which nutrients are critical? Are there any other nutrients we might want to care about when all essential nutrients are covered? Once we have answered all these questions, you will have a clear picture of which foods are the most beneficial for you. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Per mass, volume or calorie. The most commonly used nutrient density is defined as nutrients per mass of food. For example, on nutrition labels of solid foods, per serving size given in grams or per 100 grams. For liquids, the nutrition label might list a serving as volume in milliliters or fluid ounces or per 100 milliliters. With the nutrient densities on nutrition labels, we are able to calculate the amounts of certain nutrients in a given mass or volume of a food item. Calories, fat, carbohydrates, protein, but also potentially harmful substances like trans and saturated fats, or essential nutrients like minerals and vitamins. In food databases like Chronometer, we can find even more useful information. Nutrient density per calorie is rarely used, unfortunately. Daily calorie budget. There are reasonable ranges for the daily intake of solid foods and liquids in terms of mass and volume. In general, the more we consume, the more satiated we feel. So the calorie densities per mass and volume are very useful to know for weight loss or weight gain. But we have to use the nutrient density per calorie to compare foods with one another. If we use mass or volume, non-starchy vegetables containing more than 90% water by weight wouldn't stand a chance against dry foods. We have a daily calorie budget we can spend on different foods, our maintenance calories. And we should buy a selection of foods that allows us to cover all essential nutrients without too many potentially harmful substances. On top of that, there are non-essential but health-promoting antioxidants and phytonutrients. Let's recap. The nutrient density can be defined as nutrients per mass, nutrients per volume, and nutrients per calorie. Mass and volume play a major role in satiation, but only a minor role in the nutritious value. We have a daily calorie budget, our maintenance calories. The nutrient density per calorie is the most useful when comparing different foods with one another. Beyond essential nutrients, we should also consider antioxidants and phytonutrients. Comparing protein content. Let's compare broccoli with a protein bar. We can see that broccoli contains about 90% water by weight. Another 3% comes from fiber. 100 grams of broccoli have about 3.8 grams of protein. A typical protein bar only contains 25% water by weight. It may contain quite a lot of fiber, fat and carbohydrates. 100 grams of a protein bar typically have about 30 grams of protein. The protein bar clearly wins. Not really. In terms of calorie breakdown, it looks like this. Broccoli easily beats most protein bars on the market in terms of protein content per calorie. Nutrient-dense foods. Whole plant foods like vegetables, fruits, intact grains and legumes are incredibly nutritious. Their nutrient content is often underestimated because they typically contain between 60 and 95% water by weight. Animal products typically have between 30 and 65% water by weight. And most processed foods contain marginal amounts of water. Do we want to eat foods low in water content because they pack the most nutrients per mass or volume? No, quite the opposite. The higher the water content, the better for satiety. And whole plant foods combine high water content with high nutrient density per calorie, the one that matters. Antioxidants and phytonutrients fight oxidative stress, inflammation, and even the occurrence and progression of cancer. They also play a role in gut health, lung health, and various aspects of metabolic health. Our metabolism itself causes oxidative stress, so does our environment, radiation, air pollution, etc. Therefore, we should do our best to support our body's antioxidative defenses, and dietary antioxidants play a major role. Common plant foods contain 5 to 33 times more antioxidants than common animal products. Herbs and spices are exceptionally high in antioxidants. But even iceberg lettuce contains more antioxidants than salmon or eggs. Phytonutrients, phyto meaning plant, are only found in plant foods. Considering the circumstances, a high nutrient density per mass or volume can play an important role, for example in toddlers, the elderly, cancer patients, and anyone trying to increase their weight. Protein bars, certain supplements, and high-calorie dense foods can be very useful in such circumstances. Those looking to lose weight should focus on foods high in water content and high in nutrient density per calorie instead, whole plant foods. Foods high in water, so low in calorie density, are necessary to feel satiated on fewer calories. At the same time, whole plant foods are more nutrient dense per calorie, which is especially important in a calorie deficit. But don't overdo it. There is no need for raw vegan diets or fruitarian diets. These diets are often too low in calories and you might risk nutrient deficiencies. Fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits, a quarter with starches and whole grain products, and the last quarter with protein-rich foods like beans and lentils. Tweak these general guidelines to fit your needs. Let's summarize. Only the nutrient density per calorie can reveal the actual nutrient content of different foods. Broccoli beats most protein bars on the market in terms of protein per calorie. Whole plant foods have a higher water content, which is necessary for satiety. They are also very high in nutrients per calorie and are the best source for antioxidants and phytonutrients. Herbs and spices are especially high in antioxidants. Special circumstances call for high nutrient density per mass or volume. Those trying to lose weight should focus on whole plant foods, high in water and nutrients per calorie. But there is no need for raw vegan diets or fruitarian diets. Were you familiar with the concept of nutrient density? Which new aspects did you learn about in this video? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. See you next week.